So after going down to Sinner in a very close semi-final, Novak Djokovic has spoken out in the press conference and had some interesting words about his future, not just at the French Open, but in tennis in general. Let's go listen to what he had to say. So what Djokovic had to say in the press conference: so this could have been the last match ever I play here. So that's why I was a little bit more emotional in the end. But if this was the farewell match for Roland Garros in my career, it was a wonderful one in terms of the atmosphere and the crowd. So short and sweet, but yeah, really interesting to hear him say that. And he has mentioned this a little bit over the last couple of tournaments. He said that, I think, in Rome and also maybe in Monte Carlo. He did say something similar about how he might not be back here in 12 months. 12 months is a long time in tennis. Maybe he won't be back. Maybe he won't be playing on these courts in the future. So interesting to hear him say that at a Grand Slam, because we didn't hear him say this at the Australian Open, but now we're hearing him saying it at Roland Garros. There it is. Very interesting to hear Djokovic say that. Now, you could maybe interpret this a little bit differently than just the fact that he's going to straight up retire after this tournament or after the next tournament or after the year. He might not play the clay season. Maybe he doesn't play the clay in the future, because he hasn't mentioned that he's not going to be playing Wimbledon after this year. He hasn't mentioned anything else. He has only hinted that maybe he won't be back next year on this court. He's also mentioned on the other clay court events that he might not be back to those events. So maybe he might be doing what Federer did back at the end of his career, where he sort of skipped the clay to focus on Wimbledon, which was his best, result at a slam, or best chance of a slam. Maybe Djokovic might be going down that road to avoid the clay to extend his career. So we could look at it like that, or maybe this is his last season and he might not play next year. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. How did you interpret what Djokovic just said? Do you think he is coming back next year to Roland Garros, or do you think he's going to skip the clay, or do you think he's going to retire? Could be any of those options, but there it is. Novak Djokovic talking about the loss against Sinner and also about next year.